Hi again. Another in the series of books, thrillers written in some sort of series. And the books of Don Winslow um, have a couple of series within them. I was first put onto his writing when someone recommended Power of the Dog. I read it and I was hooked right from the beginning. And that's the first episode of his Cartel trilogy, Power of the Dog, The Cartel, and the Border. And it's a terrifically interwoven tale. Each of the books is really a standalone, but they are also a trilogy with the arc of the plot going through all three and the characters as well. And it's a disparate group of characters. You've got a dedicated DEA agent, you've got a priest, you've got cartel bosses, you've got a New York hitman, you've got a prostitute, and the interaction between all of these provides a terrific plot. And I really, after reading Power of the Dog, he hadn't written the other two when I read that. I was really intrigued by it, and I found out that it was actually based on the reality of what's happening down in Mexico. You've got this failed state on the southern United States border where the corruption is just staggering, where the politicians, the police, and the cartel bosses are webbed up together, and you don't know who you're dealing with. So, really, the future's pretty bleak in that area of the world, I would say. Anyway, the savagery of the actions of the cartel members against each other and against the general population is unbelievable. And as I say, it's actually based on what's actually happening down there. Some other of his books, he wrote a book called The Winter of Frankie Machine, which was originally going to be filmed, possibly with De Niro. And you start the book and oh yeah, it's good, this tale. And then suddenly something hits you and you found out it's a completely different story to what you thought it was. And Frankie's a completely different person to what you thought he was. And it's terrific. It's on a par with his Cartel trilogy. Then another one of his series, is just a two book series, is The Gentleman's Hour and The Dawn Patrol, which are about a group of guys who go surfing in California. They meet regularly every day to surf, and they are completely different types of guys. One's an ex-cop, one's a serving officer, one is in some shady business, and so on. And there's a female, Sunny Day, her name is, who wants to be a professional surfer. And one of the books actually describes her training regimen, which is pretty impressive. So really, really interesting to find out about that community. And it's got threads of a thriller in it, obviously. And then another book, California Fire and Life, takes you into the world of arson investigation, and he makes that really fascinating. And the story, like some of his stories, have loops in them. So things kind of at the end refer back to things that happened at the beginning in a very, very interesting way. Don Winslow is a terrific writer. He's very prolific. He's written lots of books. He's got a very, very background himself. One time he was a private investigator all over the world, and some of the books have that as the plot, from London to the mountainous areas of China and so on. They're really good. I've found his output to be well worth reading, but I would recommend you start with the books I mentioned, either the trilogy or The Winter of Frankie Machine or California Far in Life. They're the ones, and they will get you hooked into his full collection.